Yo, what's up guys? AFC Adino here and welcome to a new video. It's been a long while since we've been on Pokemon Blaze Online, but the Eastern event is here and this year I've chosen to play the Eastern event on Pokemon Blaze Online. You guys know I play a bunch of Pokemon MMOs, including PokeMMO, Poke1, but I chose to do it on Pokemon Blaze Online this year. Normally, I don't participate in these kind of events, but I like playing Pokemon Blaze Online, and it's actually the game I'm truly playing. Basically on PokeMMO, I'm only playing PvP. You guys enjoy it, and that's where my biggest audience is. But yeah, today I wanted to cover how to beat the bosses. There are basically three bosses: Eastern boss Diancite, Eastern boss Incineroar, and Eastern boss Decidueye. And if you beat Diancite, you get the Diancite Megastone. If you beat Incineroar, I believe you get the Altaria Megastone. Yeah. And Diancite. And a bunch of people, especially newer players, have trouble beating these bosses. And yeah, I'm about to show you guys my bosses team. I will make a full guide on this team as well, because I use this team to do the regular bosses. But we can do a quick overview here. Basically, the strategy is using Corviknight. I have an adamant nature, and we're going max HP, max attack. And the moveset we have is Bulk Up, Power Trip, and Agility. Basically, we're setting both Bulk Up and Agility up to +6. And then we're sweeping everything with Power Trip. Even if we're facing a Dark type or Fairy type, most of the times we just kill it because of all the boosts we get. It's basically the Dark type equivalent of stored power. And then we have Roost, so we can set up on targets. And the thing with these bosses is they are usually level 120. They have choice a lot of the times they have choice items. But they are able to switch up moves, so they are never locked into a move. So the strategy I'm typically going for is going for Stealth Rock on the first turn. And I'm using Alolan Golem because Alolan Golem is a rock and electric type. And the way the game is designed is, in a lot of cases, the opponent will choose a good matchup versus your lead. So you can never really get a good lead off. Meaning that if our opponent has a ground type, it will a lot of the times come in because Golem is 4 times weak to ground, being rock and electric. And if we can bait in a ground type on the first turn, it's an easy setup for Corviknight. But most of the times we want a physical attacker. We want to face a physical attacker. But yeah, we're setting up Stealth Rock, and because of Sturdy, we can typically get it up on the first turn without dying. And then we use Grimmsnarl. And I have a Flame Orb. And what I do here is my Grimmsnarl has the Prankster ability, so it usually goes first. Almost always goes first. And then I'll use Trick. That's why we want to face a physical attacker on the first turn. Because if we give them the Flame Orb, they are gonna lose their item. So if they have a Life Orb, if they have a choice item, they will lose that item, do less damage, and they will also get burned. And if they are a physical attacker, that cuts their attack in half, or their damage in half rather, meaning that it's gonna be much easier for Corviknight to set up. And I have a Blissey here. It's in case I do face a special attacker, because basically how the AI works is if you lower their stats 4 or more times, they will switch out. Meaning that I can use Confide if I face a special attacker. Blissey a lot of the times is able to take hits from special attackers. We can spam Confide and make them switch. And if they switch into a physical attacker, we can use Grimmsnarl again to trick, basically let Blissey die. I have Masquerain as well in case I need Intimidate. Versus some, I guess with the Intimidate it's going to be easier for Corviknight to set up as well. Against some weather teams, you might need Sticky Web. In this case, we're not going to face any weather teams. But if you do face weather teams, you do want Sticky Webs. And the last slot I typically not use. But I went with someone with Roar, and since Steelix has Sturdy, we can use Roar. Masquerain also has Whirlwind. Basically, what we are trying to do is we want the matchup against physical attackers, so that Grimmsnarl can set up. And the reason why that burn is nice as well is because of RNG. You can definitely do it without the burn, but if they crit you, they will ignore all your bulk up boosts. They will ignore the intimidate, lowering their attack when they crit you. But if they crit you while burned, they will still do reduced damage. That's why that burn is really important. And I use Trick. You could use something with Will-O-Wisp, but I don't think Sableye is in the game right now. So I don't know another Pokemon that can burn something with Prankster. This will suck if you do face a Dark type or a Mega Pokemon, because you cannot trick a Dark type, because Prankster doesn't work on a Dark type, and if they are a Mega Pokemon, you cannot trick them because they cannot lose their item. So in those cases, we want to roar them out, right? And that's the next thing, because Diancite is the most difficult one I noticed, because they have most of the Pokemon are special attackers on Diancite. There is like one physical attacker or two. Azumarill and Meloetta could be a physical attacker. I actually didn't see because I did knock it out. But Azumarill is the only confirmed physical attacker. However, I will get to that later, but there's another way to beat Diancite as well. But we're gonna do Diancite last. I'm gonna do Incineroar first. So I'll pause the video till we get to Incineroar, guys. Oh, guys, before you actually start doing the bosses, make sure, guys, to heal on this nurse. Because if you do die, you get teleported to the last visited Pokemon Center. And it would suck if you have to teleport back to Sanjum Town and then walk all the way here. So make sure to heal before that. Let's get back into it, guys. Okay, guys, the first boss we're going to cover is Incineroar. It can be found on map 4, event map 4. Right here. Let's do it. So we're always leading, guys. We're always leading with Golem. Always doing it on hard mode. Against Hydreiple, we cannot set up, because Hydreiple will spam Draco Meteor against Corviknight. And remember what I said, guys. If he gets to -4 from Draco Meteor, he's gonna switch, and he has a Tapu Koko. So the moment he wants to switch, he's gonna go into something that can beat Corviknight. So we're just gonna let this die. And what I'll do here is go for the RNG, and I'm gonna try to roar him into a physical attacker here. Sceptile. Perfect. So I'm just gonna let this die. Mega Sceptile comes in. He Focus Blast. So that's actually a special attacker. Could happen too. Again, I'm gonna roar this out. And there's the Azumarill. If it doesn't work, guys, if you cannot get them into a physical attacker, it's better to just close the game and start again. To not waste time. But yeah, we can just let this die, and now we're gonna go into Grimmsnarl. We're gonna trick this, give him the Flame Orb. He knocks me out. We lowered his attack. If we for some reason live or he misses, we can get up a Reflect. But now we're gonna start bulking up. Look, he crits us there, but we're still fine. Always make sure you're outside of crit range. And now we're gonna keep bulking up here. Always make sure you're outside of crit range, guys. I'm gonna use some agilities here so that I can actually get my roost before he attacks. Make sure you are set up before before he dies, though. So right here, definitely want to stay outside of crit range there. We're gonna use agility. Now we're +6 on everything. Tapu Koko is a fairy type, but it doesn't matter because we are set up completely, and we can use Power Trip, knock this out, knock this out, knock this out, knock this out. We don't even have to look because we're gonna be faster than everything. Unless you face a weather team with Chlorophyll or Swift Swim, then you do need that Sticky Web. That's why it might be important to have the Focus Sash on Masquerain. I don't have it on this one. I should probably put it on there. But that's how I beat the first boss. And if you cannot get him into Azumarill, guys, just exit the game and try again. And that's why it's important to heal before you go here. So that's the first boss, guys. Let's go to the next boss. Okay, guys, the next one is gonna be the Decidueye boss, Eastern Decidueye boss. And this one is actually really hard as well, because he does have a physical attacker, 2 physical attackers. The first one is Decidueye, but Decidueye has close combat. And remember what I said in the beginning, if they drop their stats more than 4 times, then they will switch out. So if you try to set up with Corviknight on Decidueye, he's gonna spam close combat, and after 2 close combats, he's gonna switch out, and then he's gonna go into a special attacker, and Corviknight will just die to it. So it won't work against that. And he has Mega Lopunny as well, which we cannot burn. We can definitely use Intimidate and stuff to lower his attack. Actually, I don't. He has Scrappy, so I'm not sure if Intimidate actually works. But even if we lower the stats of Lopunny, one crit and Corviknight dies. So that will most likely not work. So the only one we can really set up on is Diancite, and this one is not a Mega Diancite. So if we can roar him into Diancite or force him to switch into Diancite, that would be really good for us. So this is where that extra roar is gonna help us. But yeah, let's just go into this. We're just gonna lead with Golem again. Something I actually forgot to mention, guys, is that these bosses could have multiple teams like the regular bosses. This one in particular has a normal Decidueye team and a Hisuian Decidueye team. The Hisuian Decidueye is the only one you can actually play against, because the normal Decidueye team has only special attackers. But in that case, we would have to lower one of the special attackers' special attack 3 times, and then set up with Corviknight, like set up a light screen setup with Corviknight and hope that it doesn't crit us. For example, against Meloetta, you can do it. But if you play against the Hisuian Decidueye, there are a bunch of physical attackers, but one physical attacker is a Mega Pokemon, Mega Lopunny. And Hisuian Decidueye is a fighting type which uses close combat. If he close combats 2 times, he's gonna switch out, and he will definitely click close combat into Corviknight. So the only one you can set up against is Diancite, and it's gonna be a regular Diancite on that team. So first of all, you have the hope that you face the Hisuian Decidueye team. Yeah, let's go into it, guys. Hey guys, let's see. Oh, 1 second. Regular Decidueye. So this one only has special attackers. So in this case, there are 2 Pokemon we can set up on. It's really important. We're always doing the same thing. Let this die. He's gonna switch here, and I'm just gonna go Masquerain, but I'm not gonna do anything. I'm gonna just Quiver Dance, see what he goes into. Right here, I'm gonna Whirlwind, because like I said, there are 2 Pokemon we can set up on. It's gonna be Meloetta and Fluttermane. Those are the 2. The one that looks like Misdreavus. Because all the other special attackers, like you have Executor that you spam, the Alolan Executor that spams Draco Meteor or Leaf Storm, the Decidueye spamming Leaf Storm. So you can already set up on those. You also have Genesect, but Genesect, I believe, has Thunderbolt. Or something to hit Corviknight with, so you cannot really set up on that. But yeah, we're gonna just Whirlwind this, and like I said, we don't really want to face this. Unfortunate. So I'm gonna roar this out. Technoblast. Decidueye, definitely don't want to face that, unfortunately. And I'm just gonna tank his attack, and I'm gonna start spamming Confide here. He sets up his shit. Steel Beam. That's actually good that he did that. I'm gonna self-will here. Meloetta, that's the one you want to face. So 3 Confides. And I'm just gonna let myself die here. Or attempt to. Because if you Confide once more, it won't work. But right here, I am going to I'm gonna trick him first. just in case he has something like a choice specs. But in this case, you don't need to trick him first. You could light screen first, and then we can go into Corviknight directly. And now we're just gonna set up. We're just gonna keep setting up. I'm gonna get my speed first. Make sure you're outside of crit range though, from Shadow Ball. So if you're around half, you want to roost. And we're gonna keep setting up. Right here, we are in crit range. And once we're at +6, we're chilling. So ready, and make sure you heal as much as possible with this. And now we're +6 on this and that. And we're just gonna beat this down. So this is the Fluttermane. This is something you can set up on as well. And like I said, against this one, it's really important to not use sticky webs because you need those 3 confides. But yeah, you can just power trip this down. We got lucky that he used Steel Beam with Magearna earlier. If Magearna is full HP, you actually need to click Roost 2 times. Because he's gonna Trick Room and then he's gonna use Steel Beam. So ideally, against this opponent, you would want him to use Steel Beam once on one of your Pokemon. So that he's half HP. But right here, we can just knock him out. Yeah, we're basically chilling, like, from here. But like I said, these are all special attackers. As you guys can see here, they are all special attackers. So we don't really beat them otherwise. Like, we have to use Blissey with Charm. Against the other Decidueye, the Hisuian Decidueye, that's a fighting type. The only one you can set up on is Diancite, because it's gonna use Mega Lopunny, which you cannot burn, like I said. And the Hisuian Decidueye uses close combat, so after 2 close combats, he's gonna switch out. So it's only against the Diancite you can set up, because it's not gonna be a Mega Diancite. But yeah, right here we just knocked this out, and we knocked this out as well. And yeah, that's basically the second win. So let's see what we got from this star piece. This one doesn't give a Mega Stone, but we're just gonna go out here. And yeah, let's go to the last one, which is the Diancite boss, guys. Okay, guys, the final one is on map 2. This is gonna be the Diancite boss, and this one has pretty much all special attackers. I had the most trouble with this, but it does have an Azumarill, and that's the one you can set up so on. And that's basically the only way you can do it. You have to roar him into Azumarill. If you roar him into Diancite, just close the game and try again, because if the moment Diancite Mega Evolves, there's nothing you can do. You cannot roar him out, you cannot lower his stats because of Magic Bounce. So then you might as well close the game. So it's a bit RNG reliant. But we're still gonna do the same thing. We're gonna lead with Golem, set up the Stealth Rock, and try to get him into Azumarill, because that's the only one we can set up on. Okay, let's see if we can get the different team. No, we get the same team. Okay, so we are just... Actually, I can use Explosion here. Might as well. But we're gonna go Steelix here, and we're gonna Roar, because he has a super effective move against us. We don't want to face this. Well, actually, this is the same thing again. We could use Blissey and set up on him. But you can also force him into the Lopunny like we did earlier. But this is not the matchup we wanted. But I can basically show you guys again. We can spam Confide here 3 times. Basically do the same thing we did last time. That's what we can do. I can even go into this and get a light screen before we die. Get a trick in. And then we're gonna go this and bulking up. Basically the same thing. We actually didn't need to use the trick. The reason I chose to go for a burn here, by the way, is because he's faster than us. So by the time we get to +6, he's gonna be dead, right? And then we can proceed the same way like we did. So power trip, and is power trip it all? We could have roosted there too if we wanted to, but basically proceeding the same way. Even against this. And beating it this way. Actually, this wasn't on that team, but this version is pretty easy. So it's a bit of RNG. It's a bit of RNG depending on which team you're gonna face. The other team is definitely more difficult, but I know it has an Azumarill, and you just try to worm into Azumarill, get that Azumarill matchup. But if you get this team, you're gonna be fine as well. Like I said, you can set up on Lopunny, you can set up on Staraptor as well, even though Staraptor could use close combat against you. But I'm just gonna knock this out now and just beat the boss because the video is pretty long. But I hope I have given you guys a bit of an idea on how I beat them. I don't know if this is the best way. It's probably not the best way. There are probably better ways, but this is how I do it, and no one is really clear on how to do these bosses. But the regular bosses, the weekly bosses, I do really consistently with this team. I will probably make a video on that as well. But yeah, for this event, I just wanted to show you guys this. I basically lost a bunch of times on purpose, because I wanted to see what sets they are running and what teams they are running. But the first one, the core concept stays the same, guys. The core concept stays the same. You force them into a physical attacker, burn them, and then set up. That's the easiest way. If they only have special attackers, then you need to roar them into a special attacker that first doesn't drop their own stats, and that doesn't have a super effective move. Because even at -3, if they have a super effective move, they will just kill Corviknight, because Corviknight is not going to be that bulky. They are over leveled as fuck. So for example, that Flutter Mane, Meloetta, those kind of things, we can basically lower down. Hope this video was helpful, guys. If it was, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel as well if you want to see more guides, PvP videos as well. It's the main content on this channel. Join our Discord server, guys. And yeah, if you are looking for a crew, if you're new in the game, consider joining our crew, guys. I recently cleaned up, but we are level 28. We're chilling. It could be a good time, guys. But that's gonna be it for me. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time.